All right, well, welcome to the Speed Traveler Formula One Deep Dive. I'm Chris Evertson, that's Charlie Frank. And Charlie, we're doing things a little bit different today. We're adding a new nuance, part of our old world here. We're bringing in the betting to Formula One. And our odds, our picks. It's going to be, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. What do you think?
For those of you who don't know, Chris and I have figured out some betting hacks over the years. And we actually have been barred from 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 betting.
Yeah, none.
It's pretty sad, Chris. I mean, if you lose like a sucker, they take your bets all day long. But when you start winning, they actually cut you off. So we've been cut off from quite a few sites, and we want to bring our insight to the Formula One world for people to try and win some money.
Yeah, and this will be a lot of fun. And honestly, the key is if you are winning at a 51 percentile, right, you're doing good. You're doing fine. You're doing just great. Fine. Yeah. Right. And if you can push that number up a little bit, and that's where we've gotten into a little bit of trouble, right, then you're doing really well. So, as long as you're at 51% winning percentage,
right.
It's kind of like getting a fail plus, and you're still winning.
Let's talk about Grand Prix of Monaco because I'm pulling up the odds right now on my book, which is sports411.ag. And it's interesting. The top four are the top four that everyone thinks about. It's Lando Norris at 3-1, Charles Leclerc at 2.5-1, which is interesting because he's in a Ferrari, which has never really been up at the top of the betting market. But at Monaco, that's his home, and he's doing quite well there. Oscar Piastri at 2.5-1, and Max Verstappen at 3-1. So those are the 4 favorites, Chris. What do you think of that?
It's interesting because I'm actually looking at the Formula One website, and they have now started posting their odds on there, and and surprisingly, they are, to a degree, wildly different.
Really?
Yeah. So, the odds of Oscar Piastri's at the top at 2.7. Lando Norris is at 3. Max Verstappen at 4.9. Charles Leclerc is at 12.75.
Wow, that's interesting because on the betting sites, I'm seeing Leclerc at 2.5 to 3-1. So I would say, if you're looking to make some money, you would want to look more towards Piastri. If the odds are so out of whack for Leclerc, you might want to consider looking for something that will give you a little more value, and that might be Oscar Piastri.
Well, and we've talked about this previously. It's always good to kind of hedge your bets. And that is pick your favorite to win, not your favorite driver, your favorite driver on the odds that you think has the best chance of winning, not because you're in love with Carlos Sainz's hair. That's the wrong reason. I'm not saying don't pick Carlos. I'm just saying don't pick him because he has amazing hair.
You know? That's a great point because the Speed Traveler, we love F1, but we also like to make money, and you and I have made a lot of money betting in the past on Major League Baseball and on NBA, but it's the same thing for F1. You got to look for where there's value, and beyond the top 4, Chris, some of those guys like George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, there's amazing value on those guys.
Yeah, and honestly, you brought him up. I'm really looking to see Lewis Hamilton do something. You're going to expect it out of Charles Leclerc. It's his home Grand Prix. He qualified on pole last year, and then, Ferrari did a Ferrari.
Right.
Lewis Hamilton in that seat is going to manage it in a more Michael Schumacher-esque way.
Right.
So I think Lewis Hamilton as that dark horse bet is a really nice one to look at.
Yeah. No.
The odds are just so good.
You know what? And just for fun, I'm looking beyond just the race win. I'm looking at the qualifying here, and I'm seeing Piastri at 1.7.
Practice.
For qualifying odds, I'm seeing Piastri at 1.75, Leclerc 2.2, Lewis Hamilton 10-1, Lando 3.65. Max, I'm not quite seeing. I've got to
I
click on
have. Oh, I don't have qualifying.
Yeah, I've got Max at 4.5-1. I mean, in my mind, George Hamilton at 20-1 and Max at 4-1. Those are bargains, right?
They really are. They really
Yeah,
are. George Russell is very, very hungry right now. For the Mercedes team. I think he's going to drive the wheels off. He's had some good success at the Monaco Grand Prix. He's also had his foibles, just like every driver.
right.
It's really hard, Charlie, and you've brought this up a number of times throughout the season. Oscar Piastri has become a machine. It
Yeah,
is so hard not to just say that's the
right,
guy. It's
right.
so
Yeah.
hard, you
It,
know.
no, it's true. But what's great about Monaco is you know, Max Verstappen, for instance, can make up for a little bit of deficiencies. Oh, what do you have in a Maui brew
I'm
there?
having a little Maui brew right
You know
now.
what? I'm gonna have a tequila. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna have a little tequila 512 añejo, little shot. But you know, Michael Schumacher, after the Ferrari domination, he qualified on the pole for
That's right.
the Mercedes team in 2010, and
Yes.
it really was based on driver. It wasn't the car. So Monaco is the one place where a driver can make it. So I think Max at 4-1 is a great bet.
Especially for pole, and here's the interesting thing about this year's race is there's a new delicious,
Ah,
there's a new rule that's come out for this year. They've implemented a mandatory two-stop race.
that's
so
interesting.
so they have to stop twice, and it doesn't matter if it's a red flag condition where Red Bull seems to have had the most beneficial luck in
Right,
red flag pit stops.
right,
Or if it's just you have to do it because the tires have gone away or the
right,
gap has opened up for you to go in and
right,
out of the pits without coming out in traffic. Because the
right.
last thing you want to be in at Monaco is in traffic. I
Yeah,
don't care if
that's
you're on a
true.
Vespa or if you're in a
That's true.
McLaren Formula One race car. You do not want to be in traffic.
So let's hear your top three for qualifying and your top three for the race, and we'll see if there's any value there in the betting markets.
And I'm going to do this from my betting angles. I'm not doing it from what I think will
Right,
actually happen.
right,
It's more from where the numbers are leading me to suggest to take that bet.
right,
And, Charles Leclerc at that huge number. It's such an opportunity for Charles Leclerc to do well at his home track again.
right.
It's very hard for me to not pick either of the Ferraris to
Yeah,
qualify P1 in this race.
right.
The other, you know what, and also I need to digress for just a moment because we've watched practice. We've watched free practice 1, free practice 2. I actually got the Dodge out in free practice 4. It was a lot of fun.
Right,
um, and their lap times, even on low fuel settings, have not been very comparable to last year's pole position. About a
right,
second, 1.2 seconds off last year's pole. I'm
right.
going to say that the pole is going to probably be about the same, potentially even faster because they got that new super, super sticky P6 Pirelli
Right,
tire out there.
right.
So, if we saw a 1 minute 9 in qualifying, high nines, I would not be surprised.
Oh, that's fast. That's
Yeah, well,
how
Charles, I
fast
think it
it
was
last year.
a 10.2 last
Right.
year.
Yep.
So, and Charles is going to throw it out there. So again, Charles Leclerc is a big choice for me to do well in qualifying and possibly in the race as well.
Yep.
It's impossible not to pick Max Verstappen. He quite
Right.
possibly is the fastest. He's definitely the most aggressive with skill.
Yeah.
Definitely
Right.
most skilled, aggressive driver in that paddock. I have to pick a McLaren as well, and I'm struggling with which way to go, and I feel like it's more like for qualifying, I want to lean towards Lando Norris.
Yeah. I get
For
it.
the race, I would lean towards Oscar Piastri.
That's exactly right. I like that. Those are good picks, and to concur with you, I don't see how you don't take a few bucks on Max Verstappen on the pole at 4.3 to 1. I mean, those are
Right.
really good odds. I mean, obviously we got Charles Leclerc there, we got Oscar Piastri, and we have Lando Norris. So I understand the math behind the pick, 4.3 to 1, but I mean, it seems like a relative bargain for me. So, it's very rare that you get Max Verstappen at a bargain, but I like Max at 4.3 to 1 for the pole. And for the race itself, there again, I mean, if Max is on pole, I like Max at 3.5 to 1 to win the race.
Yeah.
Leclerc did it last year, but I just feel like he's not going to do it this year. I feel like Oscar Piastri he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's not going to do it this year. So I'm going, I mean, it sounds like the easy bet, but I'm going Max with a little bit of a side bet on George Russell and Lewis Hamilton at 16 to 1.
I love that bet, Charlie. That's a great one. And something we should really express here is when you're betting, and I don't care when you're betting on something like motorsports, where you have, in this case, 20 drivers out on track. At the Indy 500, we're going to have 33 drivers out on track.
Right.
On horse races, you have more horses out on track. You bet your particular odds-on favorite, but you always back that bet up with a couple value bets. That's what we're talking about. So it's not like we're only having one bet on qualifying or the race. We're going to have 3, maybe even 4 bets, because even the total sum of those 4 bets, that spend, if just one of them hits, you're in the plus. And that's what we talk about winning at 51 percentile.
I agree. And it's funny, Chris, that they don't have exactas and trifectas. And, we're talking about creating our own sports book that's going to have exactas, because it's easy enough, on a circuit like Imola, where it's going to be Lando or Max or Piastri. But, to pick all 3 in order, that's a feat. And so, check back with us, because the Speed Traveler might have something on that later.
So what do you think now, Charlie? I think we wrapped that up pretty nicely. I mean, those are some good bets to have in the Formula One race at Monaco. I think the only way to finish it off
is with a shot and a jug. And I want to say thank you to 512 Tequila. They're a great brand. It's a tequila. If you love tequila, and I do, as you know, Chris, it's an amazing tequila. It's very pure and clean, and it has amazing taste. And I see you got your Maui there. What do you think about that?
I'm loving my hard tea. This is the mango peach hard tea. They also make incredible brews. Their bikini blonde is amazing, but they also have non-alcoholic beverages and their root beer and ginger beer, which I absolutely love. To that, Charlie, F1 race, Indy 500. We're gonna have a great weekend. Cheers. Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Happy Memorial Day, the greatest weekend in racing. Thanks, guys.
Oh, that was good. That was good.